Right, hello lads and lasses and welcome back to Boys Down Underwear. I apologise if I do look under the weather. It's because I feel very much under the weather as well. I don't feel great. I'm on the mend though, so we're okay. But today it is a very opinion-based video, as you can tell by the title of the video. A lot of my opinion and a lot of comparing it to a lot of other people's opinions. Now, not everyone is going to be happy. I can guarantee you that right now. You know, the two topics I'm talking about, it has divided the supporter base. Alexandro Bernabei and also the debate regarding Celtic centre-backs. It should be interesting, should be great. Can't wait for the debates in the comments though. Before we go any further, if you guys are enjoying the videos, want to help support the channel, click the like button and please click the subscribe button most importantly. Trying to get to a wider audience, and those two buttons help me do that, so thank you all very much. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, as I'm sure the whole support are aware, Alexandro Bernabei was arrested in the Glasgow City Centre for drink driving yesterday. He was released but is set to later appear in court at a later date. So, the facts, well, allegedly, right now, allegedly, because as we all know in the legal system, it is innocent till proven guilty. Allegedly, he was driving with alcohol in his system and over the legal limit, which is 22 micrograms of alcohol in 100 milliliters in Scotland, of breath that is, I might add. Now, this has gotten an absolutely crazy reaction from the Celtic supporter base. I've seen comments suggesting Bernabei's contract should be torn up, he should be sacked, and he should be thrown out of the club for a various amount of reasons. A lot of those reasons include him undermining Ange and putting and failing to represent the club and putting a bad rap on the club, essentially. Now, I've got to be very, very particular and very precise with my words here because this is a very, very contentious topic. I don't know if that's the correct word, but it sounds pretty smart from my end. So, I do not condone drink driving whatsoever. I think it is one of the stupidest and one of the most idiotic things you can do because you are putting yourself at risk and also other people on the road and pedestrians at risk as well when you choose to do so. I think it is a very stupid thing to do and a very idiotic thing to do. So, from allegedly what we are hearing, Bernabei is in the wrong. Right, however, and there is always a however point because there is never just those things to go off, right? He is 21 years old, so he is still a young lad, right? From what we know, no one was injured and no one was hurt. So it's safe to say he was probably pulled over for maybe, reckless driving, or he was, it was at an RBT, which is a roadside random breath test. So the calls for him to be sacked, the calls for his contract to be torn up, for him to never play for Celtic ever, are ridiculous. There are comparisons out there of him to Bolly, Bolingoli, which are ridiculous. Every single person makes mistakes. And the funny thing is, those who are laying into Bernabei as if he's public enemy number one, really, can you even call them supporters of the club? And look, I completely understand, all right? I'm not going to come here and just call out everyone saying they're ridiculous. I understand a lot of people's perspectives and viewpoints. I'm sure there are many supporters out there, many fans of Celtic who have lost someone or have had someone close to them been injured or further as a result of someone's negligence when drink driving, right? I completely understand that. I'm pretty sure drink driving accidents make up the majority of roadside accidents in a year and fatalities and everything like that. But you need to look no further than Celtic's own captain, Callum McGregor, to realise that this was purely poor judgment and just a dumb mistake from Alexandro Bernabei. Callum McGregor in 2016 had his licence suspended for a whole year for driving 3 times over the legal limit for breath, for alcohol in his system, right? This happened a year after he was fined for driving over the speed limit. Now, 5 years later, not 6 years later, he is Celtic's captain, the face of the club, and a role model for every single athlete in that squad. Every single player, every single academy talent looks up to Callum McGregor. He came through the ranks at Celtic, and now he is Celtic's Player of the Year and club captain. But in a similar situation to Bernabei, he was done for recklessly driving and was found to be over the speed limit back in over the alcohol limit back in 2016. So to sum up, what Bernabei did allegedly was wrong. 100% was wrong. It is a stupid decision to make, right? He increased the risk of harm to himself and others on the road. But he didn't harm anyone. He didn't injure anyone. Nothing of the sort. And if you focus on the ifs, buts, and maybes, you have an extremely narrow-minded view and an opinion that, for me, just seems ridiculous. If you think he should be sacked by the club and thrown out the club for that matter as well, by that logic, you want Callum McGregor to be sacked and thrown out of Celtic as well. If you want Callum McGregor to be gone, if you don't want Callum McGregor to be gone, but you want Bernabei to be gone, that is a hypocritic take and just highlights the double standards that you possess. Everyone makes mistakes. Alexandro Bernabei is no different from you and I. Yes, he is representing the club, and he has, not represented the club in a very good way at all by doing this. And I am certain he'll learn from his mistakes. And the best way to prove he is learning from his mistakes, right, is to knuckle down and work hard. Hard work is what got him to Celtic in the first place, and hard work is what will keep him at Celtic. I don't condone what he did. I think, like I said, I've reiterated many times throughout this video, what he did was stupid and it was idiotic. But he is no different from you and I. We all make mistakes. He deserves a second chance. And if you don't think he does, well then, what are your thoughts on Callum McGregor, may I ask as well? Anyways, I need a breather after that whole 7-minute segment, because now we've got it's not even on the same level, is it? We've got to talk about Carl Starfelt and Moritz Jens and the debate for Celtic's centre-back spot. And, it's an argument that has naturally divided the support, but I wouldn't say anyone is wrong in this instance. I'd say if you believe Starfelt should start or you believe Moritz Jens should start, I believe you have a valid point, to be honest with you. I think there is a clear argument for both players. Now, let's start with Moritz Jens. He's came in on loan this season and has been called upon in the last 2 games against Ross County, against Kilmarnock, and he has been superb in both matches. A match winner against Ross County, an overhead kick against Kilmarnock, and he's a centre-back. You'd think if you didn't know he was a centre-back, you'd think I'd be talking about a striker right now. But the main quality of Moritz Jens is his work on the ball. He is extremely composed and looks confident and natural on the ball. He likes to go forward. He's always looking to go forward, but if he can't go forward, he won't force a pass that isn't on. He will go to the side or back to Joe Hart, which shows that he does have a safe and controlled aspect to his game. Then we have Starfelt, who was Celtic's centre-back for pretty much all of last season, but got off to a slow start, but did seem to come into his own and really did click in the second half of the season. Now, the thing with Starfelt is that he appears pretty uncomfortable, I think is the correct word. Awkward. He seems pretty awkward on the ball, and he just has a really unorthodox style of play. Now, there's nothing wrong with unorthodox, but his awkwardness has led to a lot of supporters believing he is a mistake in the making. It's very harsh to label someone a disaster, so rather a mistake. But the argument is that Starfelt did so well last season that he doesn't deserve, supposedly, he doesn't deserve to lose his spot because of how well he did last season. He deserves to get his spot back when he returns. The counter argument is that Moritz Jens has done nothing to lose his spot either. He's been superb in his last 2 games. Now, the injury seems very similar to Christopher Julien's injury. He got injured. Everyone expected him to get a shot when he returned. He didn't get that shot when he returned, and he's on the outer at the club. He's our 5th choice centre-back at the moment. I don't expect Carl Starfelt to drop down to 5th choice, but still, for me, it's very simple, right? My opinion on this matter was made up at the end of the Kilmarnock game, and all I needed to see was that Kilmarnock game. Now, you may be questioning me, Aiden, how can you make a judgment off one game? Well, really, I think I should be paying tribute and applauding an ex-Rangers player in Carl Lafferty, because he pretty much helped me make this decision. Moritz Jens contained Carl Lafferty for the whole period of time while he was on the pitch. Those two went head-to-head in every single aerial duel, every single throw, and every single corner, and Moritz Jens bullied him. There was this one instance on a corner, he crossed it in. Moritz Jens, who is 1 inch taller than Jens, I must add as well, it looks like he's going to get the header there. Moritz Jens, he just bodies him out of the way, gets the header off instead and clears it away from goal. When Starfelt came on, he got bullied by a 34-year-old Lafferty. And that was that for me. I didn't need to say any more. Carl Starfelt was getting... I wouldn't say it was overly bad, but, you could just see the difference. Carl Lafferty, he seemed a lot more confident when he was up against Carl Starfelt, and he seemed a lot more dangerous as well, I might add. Despite, having already played 65 minutes of football and also being 34 years old, he's not in the best shape of his life, right? I just don't see how Jens isn't our man, right? Against physical, tall strikers in Europe specifically, and also in Scotland, which is a very physical league, it has to be Jens for me, right? He offers the aerial threat, composure on the ball. He has a very oddly specific eye for goal and is a strong defender. And, it isn't the fact that Starfelt is a bad defender, because he isn't. No, by no means is Carl Starfelt a bad defender. I think on his day, he's a very good defender. I think it's very unlikely, and I have sympathy for him, that he got injured when he did. But I can't see how you say Carl Starfelt is the best option going forward right now, and he's going to have a bigger impact than Jens, because I personally, for one, feel a lot safer when watching the games knowing that Jens is there rather than Starfelt. Maybe it's just because he looks less awkward on the ball and things like that, but it just seems like Jens has to be the man going forward, and he deserves to keep that spot until, obviously, he drops off heavily in form or he gets injured himself. God forbid that happens. I don't think he's seriously injured from the weekend. Ange says he seems to be okay, so we should see him in the lineup against Hearts, unless Starfelt gets the nod as well. It'd be interesting to see where Ange's head is at with this, but that is all from me. So if you guys did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave in the comments below your thoughts on the Bernabei situation. Remember to respect everyone's opinions. It is a very contentious topic, so just be respectful when you are giving your opinions. And also the Jens and Starfelt topic, but that's not so contentious, and really, you can bite each other's heads off with that, so I don't really mind. It's good, it's interesting and funny to read. But until next time, hail, hail.